Okay, it's looking more like a table now. Back to my little alcove. How's it going, everybody? My name is Patrick McKernan, and my YouTube channel. Welcome, everybody. As you can see, I like to build stuff. Talked enough about the boat. Got a lathe underneath that. I had to cover it because I was doing woodwork. I didn't want dust getting in the electric motor. This is my first workbench here, and I just threw a sheet of plywood on there because I wasn't doing anything crazy with it. But because this will have the weight of a lathe, as you can see, these are pretty beefy 2x8s. I built the similar style to that, but it's a tiny bit wider. I think 2 feet 6 inches. It's a little bit of an edge here. Things didn't quite match up perfectly the way I wanted it, but it's pretty good. Pretty close. I just went with the 2x8, you know, I only wanted to buy 2 of them, 8-foot lengths. So, made her work. Got a little bit of almost a bevel here, which is fine. And I've got quite a bit more working surface than just 2 feet. So it should be good. But I wanted to show you guys, I have a stud 2x4 in the middle underneath to support the weight, even though these would probably be good, but I even gave it a little extra support. Down below, it's probably pretty dark. I'm going to put a shelf here later. I just grab a sheet of plywood and throw it in. Might put a support there too, but for now, the square on the bottom is just adding that extra strength for the legs. But a shelf also will be handy for the chocks and everything, and I might even make like a lock box. A lot of the tooling is easy to grab. It's a garage, right? I mean, it's not super secure. Not bad, I mean, it's locked. But you never know. Crackheads come in and they'll take anything that's not nailed down. So a lockbox would just make it more difficult. They can't really see it all. So I don't mind the odd tools. Like these are, you know, pretty cheap. Not the end of the world. But the lathe gear it's hard to get. You know, it's expensive. So they can't leave out of here with the lathe. That's too heavy. Thank God. But you see my little technique here with a straight edge and a cheap carpenter square, so that I can actually hit the stud when I go across here. That's kind of what I wanted to show. I got them clamped. A lot of you ace carpenter types would have glued this, but I'm fine with screwing it, and then I'll sand it. The sawdust will go in between. It'll still be a good enough finish because it's going to be covered by a lathe and then just a chip tray, so you're not even going to see the table, really. And it'll have the shit beat out of it as well. So gluing it and making it look all perfect. I'm running 10-inch number 10 wood screws. They're like, oh gosh, 3 inches. What are they? I'll show you what they are here. Deck screws, yeah, 3.5 inches long, number 10. Like, I put the whole bench together with these. Nothing's going anywhere. I wanted to kind of lag bolt it, but I couldn't be bothered to buy lag bolts just because I had these left over. But that's pretty sturdy. So I'm going to finish this line, do a few around the perimeter, give it a quick sanding, and then done. Like I'm just hammering these in with the power tool, and I'm just very slightly sinking them in past the edge, just so I can give this a light sanding to kind of, you know, level off the surface at least. My garage floor is not perfectly level. It kind of, the drainage, right? So it kind of goes down this way. So I may end up shimming up this end a little. But yeah, I've got a cheap little level there. Be good enough. Once I get the lathe on there, realistically, I'm going to have to level it with the lathe on it. So I'll have to get like a lever and maybe pop it up a little, this end. But yeah, that's a pretty sturdy table, I'll tell you. Good. And it's really close to the height to the other table. I kind of wanted that just to make a, you know, if I'm actually cutting a long piece of timber here, I can lay it across all of it. Yeah. So I should have a little edge in front of the lathe. I'm trying to figure out where I need 13 inches between the lathe and the motor, the screws. So the back screw of the motor and then the back edge of the lathe mount. So the center to center on the screw holes. So that has to be 13.5 inches so that the belt tension is manageable. And that way I'll set it up the same way Hank had it, position-wise. So it should run pretty much the same. Beyond that, I might wish I had a little extra width, or length, you know, but everything should fit on there. I'll do another quick video once I get everything on there and hopefully bolted down. That may happen tonight. This has taken oodles longer. I had a break for dinner, but it's taken a little longer than I thought, but it's definitely a lot sturdier than your average bench. But I could definitely write up a little sketch if somebody's interested in how I did it. Essentially $44. You could have done it for about $35 because I've got 2 2x4s extra and a couple of cuttings left over like this. Got a few chunks. So, and I started off with 8 2x4s, which were short actually. They were cheaper. They're like a couple inches under 8 feet. And 2 2x8s. So that's what I started with, by 8 feet. Alright, I'll get back to you when we get the lathe mounted. Have a great night. Those are huge. Okay, here we go. Just a quick one. It's very rough work, but yeah, now if I actually rub my hand on it, I'm not going to get a huge sliver, slight bevel, just enough. Ooh, a little bit of a rough edge there, whatever. I'll just leave that. Okay. Now, load the lathe on this thing. God. Okay. Oh, God. Wish I could pay someone to finish my boat. Get it out of here. Oh, not enough time in the day. Now this is the motor for the lathe. I pretty much am gonna poo my pants trying to lift this again. I lifted it out of the car. It's gonna go right here. And I want to get the motor on the table and just like prop it up for now, and then put the lathe on, and then I'll bolt everything. Ugh, okay. I'm gonna do this off camera just in case I curse and swear too much. All right, I'll be right back.